Welcome, everybody. Thanks for joining us this evening for this ESEA Invite Cast. My name is Gex. Not really. It's Getawhale. Hopefully I fooled you all. My name's Getawhale. I was actually called in. Gex was supposed to be a caster this evening. He had a family thing come up. I was called in at the last second, and I'm excited. Well, for a couple of reasons. We have a doubleheader for you guys tonight here on Team Fortress TV. The other reason I'm excited is that casting with an old friend of mine. His name is Marxist, and Marxist is kind of like the old days, isn't it? How does it feel being back in here? You know, the dynamic duo. I don't think we ever had a nickname. I'm just kind of making it up as I go.
Well, I think I might be a little laggy right now, so tell me if I go Robotnik on ya.
A deal.
But yeah, it's good to be back. I have wanted to cast for quite a bit here, but the schedules just haven't lined out yet, so I'm glad to be back. And
Yeah.
I'm glad that I get to double up.
Double up, yeah. Well, you were telling me you got a busy life, man. Something about school that'll do that to you. But we've had a very exciting season in Invite, and one of the more interesting seasons in a long time for, a couple of reasons. There have been just so many roster moves and whatnot, some roster changes. The Alpha rule was again name dropped just recently, and in terms of standings, we've had a lot of stuff going on and kind of a tight race. We're kind of in the run now, the home stretch to playoffs. This match that we're going to see here first is maybe not a very important match overall. It's Froyotech and Running with Scizors. We'll talk about that in a second as we have a look at the standings here. Running with Scizors, they're at 5-8. But with just a few games left now in the season, their hopes are kind of dashed. The race for that fourth spot is kind of now between Street Hoops Esports and Bird Noises. That's another story to watch. But certainly Running with Scizors, this is a team that have had a fantastic season. I think I've spoken with Jared, and I specifically asked him recently, is this team going to stick together next season? He says, absolutely yes. And I said to him, you know what? I really think you guys have earned more than earned your spot in Invite. Have you gotten a chance to see much of these guys, Marxist? I'm sure you have some familiarity, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I know some of the players as well, but yeah, I missed out at the hype up for this match mentions the Sunshine, but unfortunately I missed that. But yeah, one of the big problems that we've had at Invite over the last 12 seasons is that a lot of the teams that don't make playoffs and don't have even records tend to die, and that really hurts Invite overall after 2 or 3 seasons go by, and it's just a revolving door of new people who then leave to never come back. So it's good to hear that they're sticking with it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, Invite, you kind of get the feeling that it's growing. I mean, matchmaking is coming, of course. There's a matchmaking stress test happening right now as this cast is happening. But we're pleased that you guys have joined us here live to check out some of these matches. We're coming up after this Froyotech and Running with Scizors match. We're going to be looking at Ronin versus EVL Gaming. That is going to be a banger, if I may, use some, some of the hip slang here, Mark says. That should be a very exciting match between two playoff teams who've already punched their ticket. But as you said, you spoke about the match write-up that was on TFTV. The last time that these two teams met, Froyotech and Running with Scizors, it was actually a very close match. It was closer than the 5-1 score would indicate. And I know that Running with Scizors, they're always out. They're playing pugs all the time, several of these players. I know that they would love to upset Froyotech here. It's not going to affect Froyotech's record. It's not going to take them out of the playoff running or anything like that. But you love playing spoiler. Like, isn't that such a cool feeling to take out the top team, Marxist?
Yeah, that's one thing to shoot for. Plus, you've got some pretty big names on Froyotech that you would like. Some people may want to take down.
Yeah,
a peg or two. Yeah, so that's always an objective. I would expect them to have an easier time on Sunshine, mainly because since it's a newer map, and again, newer is kind of subjective because it's been around a while now, but teams don't have quite the backlog of experience, so you can get away with some more loose play, we'll call it, than you normally could. So we'll see. This is a more standard affair tonight, so
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, everyone loves practice and process. I mean, my God, a lot of the top players. I mean, this is a map that they play, hundreds of times, like every season. And so certainly it'll be exciting to see how this one plays out. We're waiting now. Players, not everyone joined up just yet. We got time to talk. Do we want to have a run through the rosters and talk about some of these players here, Marxist? Any idea who we want to start with? Who do we want to talk about first?
Well, since I'm retrieving server info,
Okay, well, tell you what.
you read one.
Well, I'll talk about running with scissors. How about that? Running with scissors are, let's start with the medic Sky. I think Sky has had a fantastic season. Sky's one of the players I think of when I think of people that are always pugging, always, 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 every day, pugging for several hours. She is in there, and I think she's had a very impressive invite season. A lot of eyes are always on these newer, well, not newer medics, but whenever there's an IM move-up team, I feel like they're really under the microscope. Aren't they, Marxist, and especially the medics?
I don't know necessarily about that. There, you have sort of a dual-tiered system of people who are interested in the lower invite teams, and they are higher invite teams who might want to cut someone from their current higher invite team, and usually they'll farm them out of the IM call-up teams. And also there's all of your old companions that you spent, seasons upon seasons playing with in IM,
Right.
who have waited all this time to watch you fail. So they
Well,
chuckle and mumble as you get blown out by the froyotechs of the world.
well, I'll tell you what. If it's up to me, I think she's played quite well. Speaking of playing quite well, also Jarrett on demo, and Jarrett is someone who has had kind of a short little tour in the past in Invite, but I think he's kind of, as I mentioned, punched his ticket or earned his spot now to hopefully stay in Invite. Having a great season. Soldiers are Deathy and Rakuso, and again, really strong soldier duo. They've proven themselves kind of all season long that Rakuso really able to make those big plays. Deathy, another one of the guys who just constantly pugging from what I've seen. Scouts are Evil Mr. Muffins and Sen. And as the write-up indicated, Sen having a fantastic season and is proof that he's a really strong scout. He's a really strong sniper as well. He can kind of do it all. Do you know much about this kid, Sen Marks?
No, I do not.
Ooh. Well, you're going to learn. I mean, right from, I'm thinking back to, I think it was week 1 that, he kind of came right out of the gate on Snakewater and just had so many big sniper plays and really powerful on Scout as well. And he's honestly just had a really solid season overall, as well as even Mr. Muffins, who's, Scout is not his main class. When you think of Evil Mr. Muffins, he's someone that played a lot of Soldier because he's a big jumper. He's in the jump community, surf and jumping. But he's had an okay season on Scout, and he seems very dedicated to it. Are you in the server here now? Did you want to talk about froyotech?
Oh yeah, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
So on froyotech, the new froyotech, we've got sort of in roughly the same order. We've got Ninja Nick on medic without his good old friend Grape for once, actually. It's the first time in a while that Ninja Nick's just been on a team, sort of on his own. We've got Muma on demo. Banny and Patty are the soldiers, and Free State and Clockwork are the scouts. I'll tell a fun story, because Patty has been an invite, Banny needs no introduction, blah blah, right?
Right.
So, eons ago, I played in a game, in a pug, I believe it was called at that time, and there was a guy in there I'd never heard of, and he was actually pretty alright. And I said, is he on a team? And somebody said, yeah, he's on some open team or whatever, nobody knows who their name is. And I said, well, he'll be pretty good someday. And that person was Free State. So it's good to see him get an invite. I totally, I should have made advances.
Yeah, well, I mean, tell you what, Free State is, I know he's happy to be back on his main class, which is Scout. Marxist, I don't know, you were telling me about how you made grad school and whatnot, you've been really busy, but did you know they stuck him on medic this season? Briefly?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's good to see that he didn't get stuck there forever, because you know the universal rule is once you play medic, your team will never let you play anything else. because
Exactly.
nobody wants to play medic. But it's good. It seems that they have got that sorted out.
They got it. How about these new? I don't know what your HUD is looking like there, Marks, but with this latest matchmaking update, we got new portraits on the players. I can't see the stream, but I assume it looks the same as well. It looks looking snazzy. That Valve Corporation is cleaning the game up, getting it ready for esports. Well, tell you what, we've talked about the players, so tell you what, why don't we get predictions done here? We had a look at it earlier up on stream, but the Saloon.tf bets very strongly slanted toward froyotech. In fact, almost surprisingly, I'm almost shocked whenever I see like 95 to 5% because upsets happen, and we've seen them happen this season. And Froyo aren't really playing for anything. Certainly, they always want to win. Any team led by Banny always wants to win, but I don't know. Sometimes I feel like there's more than a 5% chance of an upset. What do you feel, Marks?
Well, I'm going to say I would agree with the betters of the world that this is strongly in favor of Froyo. And we'll see how strongly it's going to be in favor of Froyo based on what happens at the first mid. Because sort of the trademark of Froyo over the seasons has been their ability to just ignore you at middle and cap your last.
Yep. Well,
if that happens, it's over.
We saw that recently, actually, on Metalworks, a very highly touted match between Froyo and EVL Gaming, where Froyo came right out of the gate and just annihilated the Min, full team wipe, just completely, just not even close at all. And so certainly, if Froyo come out and they're having big, strong mids on this process map, it might be maybe close to a repeat of that 5-0. But at any rate, we have most of the players in here. If you guys have any ideas of how you think this one might go, if you want to tell us a score, do you think it's going to be a 5-0? Do you think it'll be closer, or are you thinking upset? Let us know in the Twitch chat. What do you think, Marks? Are you feeling 5-0, or do you think that these running with Scizors peeps can take some rounds?
I mean, maybe they could get around. Well, we'll see how it ends up boiling out. But I should say, I do have the snazzy new little icons, right?
Yeah.
They ought to tie them into your MMR. And so the better matchmaker rating you get, you'll get custom like little poses and stuff.
I thought you meant like in the old like Wolfenstein and Doom games, like the lower you are, like your face is all beat up and bleeding, and the worse you are.
The intro level MMR, your guy just looks like crap.
You have a baby pacifier in your mouth. Maybe hopefully Valve is listening to this cast tonight, and they can maybe suggest that to the powers that be. At any rate, let's have a look here. We got 6v5 in server. If you're just tuning in, guys, you are right in time here for a doubleheader that we have this evening on Team Fortress TV. This first match, froyotech versus Running with Scizors, and then the marquee matchup right after this is going to be Ronin versus EVL Gaming, two playoff teams. This process map, I kind of like that they save process for the end of the season, Marxist, because it's like we just got done with Metalworks, which is almost universally disliked, and now we're just like, doesn't it feel like home? It feels like home being on process. It's like this is the map that is in your dreams when you're playing TF2 in your dreams. Am I crazy?
It wasn't always like that, though. There was a time when people didn't know how to feel about this map, but we've become accustomed to it now. It's better than what we had before, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm kind of sad to see Metalworks come so late in the season. There was always a debate that, the weaker maps ought to come first. And then that way they won't knock you out of the playoffs. But, such is life. But at least here we are. So all the Open and IM bubble teams of the world can at least make their last stand on a solid map.
We talk about some players, maybe. If you had some players to watch here, really from either side, as we look at the gorgeous portraits here, who do you think? Who do you have the feeling? Like, let's use your Marxist sense, your Spidey senses here. Who's going huge tonight? Who's the MVP?
Well, I don't know if we'll have enough of a score to dictate a true MVP, but we'll see. Obviously, you've always got to look at Clockwork and Banny on Froyo's side. On the other side of the coin, it would be nice if Sen had another really solid game, since that was the last time at least that I know of, that eyes were on it. But everyone's disconnecting, so
Yeah,
maybe we have a
new
server change. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have new server. Well, we will have to dash around and try to get this new server information. Maybe it was too many Canadians. That's what happened last night. Was the news on the wire was there are too many Canadians. Maybe it's that fabled Dallas server, Marxist. You're the one that told me all about the
Texas
myth.
99 is the best server in ESEA.
Yeah.
If you have a member of the D Heroes on your team, so that really only applies actively to Sezco, possibly Ictus if he's still out there. I think Ictus was still playing. We will never be defeated on a Texas 99 server.
Yeah, I mean, people might not realize it if they have never played in ESEA, but I mean, it's actually a thing. When you play a match, you have to select servers. Both teams have to agree on a server, and they're not all located in the same place. And it has kind of come into play a few times. I mean, Froyo doesn't have Blaze any longer. Blaze always had kind of a high ping playing on the West Coast, but it's a thing. People might think we're silly talking about servers, but it's not as silly as you think. We're trying to get the new server info right now. We're scrambling.
My Steam chat just got blown up by people texting me Texas 99.
Oh, really? It's like the most famous server of all. We got the new details. We're all good.
Yeah,
So guys,
Texas 99 did a lot of good things for my TF2 career.
Thanking everyone all for your patience. We're in the new server, and all the players should be up as well. I think we had 11, if not 12 players, so shouldn't be too long before we get kicked off here. We're getting there, and hopefully, we saw last night on TFTV, if you were here or if you caught the VOD, some off-classing, maybe some excessive off-classing. But I've got a funny feeling we're not quite going to see that level of shenanigans this evening. It's worth talking about because almost every Twitch stream that I've gone into this evening or this afternoon, including my own, people were saying, geez, boy, how about that Bugs and Froyo game? If you guys missed it, it involved 5 heavies running to middle in one of the last rounds, which it doesn't fit into the rules of ESEA, but you can do it. There's a way to do it. It got a little silly. With a capital S, Marxist.
Yeah, I know. We've had matches like that in the past that we had, Huntsman snipers to mid and epic pan duels and things like that. So every now and again you'll see that come out, and occasionally it will end up being casted as well. So that they can be the new generation's Mighty Ducks for the old bees who are still out there watching TF2.
Yeah, a lot of people were name-dropping that on the forums last night and this morning. I get the feeling, I don't think we have any fear of that. The feeling I get from this Running with Scissors team, they've had, like I say, a fantastic season. They are below 500 for their record, but, those losses were against, basically just the playoff teams almost exclusively. And so, I get the feeling that most of these guys and gals are newer to Invite, and, the experience that you get, even though you're not really playing for a whole lot in this match, it's always cool to come out and give it your all against, another top team. And I'm sure that Froyo are happy to play their best as well. And hopefully, that's what we'll get here this evening. I'm okay with off-classing to a certain extent, but multiple heavies to mid is kind of where I draw my own personal line. That's just me.
Yeah, it's well, technically, I think it's a rule violation that seeds the round.
Yes.
So
yes.
Yeah, so that's a thing. It sometimes actually happens on accident because of the wonkiness of the config. You'll occasionally see 2 heavies come up. I remember there was an ETF2L game some time ago where, since they don't use a locked config, or at least they didn't at the time, they accidentally had 2 heavies come out, and the one heavy saw the other heavy, and so as not to forfeit the round, the heavy just never shot and just hopped back into spawn to show that he didn't mean to go heavy.
I'm sorry.
Don't take the round.
Yeah, sometimes it happens, but, it was a bit of comic relief, It's a long season. A very long season in which we're kind of rounding down here, getting towards the end of this season, and it's good to laugh. It's nice to laugh every now and then, At the end of the season, I think all the players will get together. We'll have a big, we'll go to the resort. Back massages for everybody, wrist massages for all those frags. But in the meantime, 5 heavies is almost as good as that.
Yeah.
Almost. I don't know which is better, actually.
So I'll get back to our schmooze talk while we're waiting.
Sure.
So it would be cool since in the promo for this match, Sen sort of really came out as a big timey player in that, I guess.
Yep.
And it would be cool to see him able to do that again, since I assume they haven't really been casted a ton since then. So it's always good when you get your time in front of the bright lights of the Twitch stream, especially on a night when we have a playoff match immediately before.
Yeah, well, tell you what, there's been a ton of coverage, actually, maybe more than you're used to, Marks.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
I've seen them being posted.
Yeah, we've seen these guys actually a whole lot. My God, I feel like I've cast Running with Scizors, maybe, I don't know, 7 or 8 times at least. But at any rate, absolutely. What I was going to mention when you're talking about Sen, he's a very strong sniper, and I'm thinking, when I think of places where sniper can be the strongest, right around this choke area on this process map is one of the ones I think about. You think of Clockwork and some of those top snipers who, just by standing and watching that choke area, you just shut down so much ground. And I've got to think, I don't know, wouldn't be surprised if we saw a little Clockwork versus Sen this match. We might even see, Evil Mr. Muffins has sniped a bunch as well this season. Could even be somebody else, but is that the big thing? We see it sometimes on last, but I think the snipers really shine around choke in terms of being effective and what they're doing for their team. You know what I mean?
Yeah, your sniper angles on this map in second and on mid are really good relative to a lot of other maps that have less long sight lines. So like on mid, you can stand clear back by your forward spawn, or by their forward spawn, excuse me, on mid, and see all the way into second, and also anyone who comes out of IT. So that's really solid, especially because on this map at least, going from second to mid is usually done through choke. It's really rare to see teams push sewer or IT.
Yeah.
So you've effectively made them risk their lives just to use their favorite doorway.
Yeah, no, you nailed it. Coming through IT, I can remember once or twice seeing it at the invite level recently, but it's just so choky. You think Metalworks is choky, but that IT door is just suicide if you're taking your whole team through there, and you can body block it so easily. The door is not big. I think don't quote me on this, but I think it almost might be a bit smaller than the Metalworks door, or probably the same size. I don't know.
Yeah, it's around the same size as one of the lobby doors. I think it's actually a bit smaller though. But yeah, well, and there's also the issue of traps there. If the enemy team has a demo, your pocket might just get evaporated as soon as he walks out of the door. There's a lot of bad things that can happen. But on second, you have basically the same prerogative. The only thing there is that they can actually push through IT a little bit, so, that's good.
Yeah, well, hey, listen, we got green text finally. Who do we want to look at on the middle? Are you thinking demo? Are you thinking roamer? What's up? Who do you want?
Well, you gotta go for a demo for the first mid, just to see the fun rollouts.
All right. Well, what do you think? Jarrett, perhaps?
Yeah, why not? We talked him up. We'll see how these guys do. He is running the booties, so he will be extra speedy. Maybe. There we go. So he's surfed through. Gonna have a little demo sticky exchange. So far, not really a ton done. And we'll probably see the typical invite mid here where they sort of spam each other a bit, see who gets the most screwed up, and then the bombs come. And now that's what we're seeing from Froyo. They have taken height. They do get free state, though, and Clockwork, so that is really, really good. They effectively baited them in somehow. Rakuso's going to go down as well.
Patty was in behind. He loses his life there, but he got a rocket onto Sky. His bomb, he just kind of came in, went behind, came through sewer, and lickety split. But unfortunately for him, yeah, you were kind of calling running with Scizors there. That kind of had, we got a fight. Looks like I'm back at mid. The mid cap's going down, but we have some players pushed up here. But it was a mid for running with Scizors in the end, and they unfortunately lost Sky, which means Nick's going to have a big old fatty advantage here, full ad.
Yeah, and what they're trying to do here is they want to get this force without losing anybody. All of Froyo came through chokes, so they have a good shot at it, but they are through. Nick waits a long time to get him in, so he's fine, but now there's pressure. And we'll see, he's still there.
Oh my god. There was a soldier right behind him that couldn't, it was Deathy was in behind, and the geometry of the map, he just couldn't hit Nick, and Nick's still holding on to Uber, but Deathy is still in behind now with Marxist, and he's getting a little bit of damage here on the clock. Here's Patty to try to clean him up. He's going to jump away here, but Deathy might be in... Oh, he's sticking it out here. Some crafty soldiers.
Yeah, it was good that he pulled 2 people back as well. Oh, and Sen's already killed a Free State, so that should slow things up a little bit more. They at least want to be able to get Uber here, and they will be able to do that. So Deathy's spawn time will work out in their favor. They may even try to get a little bit more aggressive just because the point has not yet capped. And yeah, there it goes. So there's the force from the outside, and Clockwork is going to go down there as well. So now we have a full Uber on Sky, a really well executed probe out of last, because now we have our Uber, and we'll see if they can make it work.
Yeah, Sen's still up on Sniper. We didn't have to wait long for that. The Sen Sniper, he's already got 1 frag. He's going to head back to resupply now. Sky still holding on to hers right here as Running with Scissors come out, and they're going to try to chip away this second. Froyo very wisely kind of getting out. Oh no, Clock going to come in and threaten a little bit here. Oh, here's Patty. It's a double jump. Oh, look at this guy surfing away. There was 2 players coming in, and finally now Free State comes in, and Muma, real nice job by Froyo there, popping that Uber, and Sky kind of left with nothing to do with this Uber. So great job, and now Nick is at 85, and he's playing, boy oh boy. Nick is just all the way back at Rock. So Running with Scissors. Here's Muffin's going to take his shot at Nick. Gets taken down though. Nick's still within, out of harm's way here. Marks, nice job there.
Yeah, so we're going to end up leapfrogging essentially over second. We'll see. The important thing here is that nothing bad happened to Sky. Rakuso's going to give his life to try to force or do some sort of shenaniganry. Not going to happen. They're going to end up losing Deathy.
Oh boy.
And this puts them in a bad spot because they're 1 down and they are 50% down in Uber. And Rakuso's not in position yet, so they are going straight in. And this is going to be pretty hard to deal with.
Sen tried to headshot a player who all of a sudden turned shiny, so Sen had to go back and turn back onto Scout. Patty is in, and he's committed. He's real low up above here. Deathy, I don't know, had to turn around and see he was there. They get him. Clock is in, but only 3 players left up here on Froyo, and time to get on their heels and skedaddle out of there. Muma doing what he does, which is, play passive. He's got Rakuso up in his face, though. He wants to try to get out alive if he can. Nick's still up, but another big old advantage here for Sky, who's actually quite low. But as you said, we're just kind of piggybacking Ubers now, Marks.
Yeah, we ended up having a pretty bad push in from Froyo. They lost 2 people right away. 1 to a sniper as soon as the Uber went out, but we still have this Uber advantage. They're going to try to tease the point. They pop in response, so pretty good play from Froyo here just to stop the craziness over at second, and they get 2 kills. So they're going to come right back in. We've got Clockwork being a huge distraction as well, and the bomb comes in.
Yeah, here's both soldiers now. Clock barely took a tick of damage, and it's only Jared and Sky left up now. Really good. I mean, boy oh boy. Clockwork is something else. He managed to stay in there the whole time and just kind of distract and pull attention away, like you said earlier, Marxist. And it's amazing what you can do when you're just a nuisance.
Yeah, you don't want them to look at those doors when your team's trying to walk through them, so it worked perfectly.
Yeah, I want to look at Rakuso on this mid, who's he's just gonna get up here on overhang a little bit and just kind of send out some spam right now. No team doing anything really crazy right now. Here's a double jump in from Banny. He just tries to get a little bit of free damage in. Patty, meanwhile, falls, and he takes a ton of damage. Rakuso's in danger. He's down to 20 or 30 or so HP. Lots of frags going down. It's Jared jumping in the demo. Free State cleans him up. They were kind of sacking in to get Ninja Nick, who looks real good right now. There's no bloody portrait for him. He's got Free State. He's got Clockwork. They're not going to lose a whole lot of those fights, Marks. And Sky went down through all that.
It was a strange series of decisions that were made there because they had the pick advantage, and then they had a scout run in and die, which, that happens. You try to get aggressive. And then they all just said, man, we're all just all gonna die now. I think that's for the best. And they let their medic get killed, and I don't know what they were trying to do there. Or if somebody said we should push up, and people assumed they would go certain ways, and they didn't. But now this is another bad situation. Froyo didn't do so well, though the last time they tried to do this, they are chasing up top. Nothing really happening yet, and Clockwork's gonna go down, but there go 2 kills. And 3 kills now, no demo. So maybe Froyo will get on the point now. They sort of teased it, and that will be that.
How about the focus fire on these last pushes by froyotech, just kind of coming in and kind of systematically taking apart Running with Scizors, who have been having a hard time. Talked about how, they're probably out here to try to prove something, maybe play a bit of spoiler and prove that they've earned their spot, but they haven't been doing it on mid just yet. Hopefully a strong mid here. Marks, who are you looking at?
Well, I'm just sky camming it because that's how I do. I do like the Jarrett arrow strat there. Froyo again is the early aggressor, but Rakuso will be the first step this time. So Froyo didn't feed quite the way they have, and we'll see more bombing. Yeah, bad positioning here, but they get
Sky.
2 kills. Sky surfs out 2 kills in exchange. It's an even mid now. Bad positioning. But, yeah, they fight it back over, and we've got a scout in behind here as well that's going to make Froyo sort of turn themselves around. And now it's a fight over the point, and I think we're going to see them back out here. You don't want to exchange Ubers over a point that's so close to being capped.
Definitely not. I was on the sky cam. She was dead to rights. Patty had her just lined up with the height advantage and everything, and she somehow miraculously got out, which means we're not going to see a steamroller in through last here, and Froyo have some time to kind of slow down, plan a push, maybe, send Clock in as a sack or something like that, get some off-classers up, but I don't know. It looks like they don't want to wait. Sen is about to lose his life here, and even Mr. Muffin's trying to come in and avenge that. I don't know, boy, Running with Scizors could bleed here, and they could be in a real bad position. Here it is up top. It's the jump from Banny.
Yeah, they're fighting Froyo from a pretty decent position right now. Free State runs in. They get the force off of this. So Ninja Nick is going to run away because you don't need to pop your Uber into invincible people when you have mid. So this worked out really well. They actually never have to leave and just cycle out of sewer. They're going to get straight onto the point. Muffins is going to go down in lobby, I believe. And we might see a probe in. Patty is going straight in. And Free State gets Deathy as well. They're coming in now with the Uber. Already control the left side. So we'll see how they do on this.
Well, they're not thinking about the point yet. Freud just looking for those picks. It's Banny on the side. Got Jarrett Sen down now as well. There's still 4 players left standing. And Freud are just letting them live inside of their respawn there. They finally now get the Uber forced, and they might think about the last point here. I don't know. Here's Evil Mr. Muffins trying to challenge this point. Here's Deathy now going to jump in and challenge as well. Patty's there to meet him. A little bit of a roamer showdown here. Here goes Patty. And I don't know, the patience here paying off by Running with Scizors, although Marxist, did Froyo let them defend that a little bit?
Yeah, Froyo, for whatever reason, they had a scout mostly cap the point and then go in to assist with the camping of the spawns, which is a normal practice, but I think they screwed up in their math there on how soon the respawns that they had that were supposed to come cap would be there. Oh, we've got a bad situation for Sky, actually gets pinched in IT. So now this Uber has to come through and just do the best that it can. It is going to get Free State, though, and Patty's still dead. So they could try to run in here and get to Nick, and that's going to be quite the gauntlet. And Clockwork is a sniper in spawn, and Rakuso's going to end up dying in a trap, and Nick is basically on second.
Yeah, here's Banny flying over the top. They're trying to shut down whatever push this was out of Running with Scizors, trying to get to Nick. Oh boy, Running with Scizors trying to cap this mid, but here's Patty and Banny just doubling up on Deathy there, and Evil Mr. Muffin's retreating now in a bit of trouble, and I think Running with Scizors just kind of, they're content to back up. Clock went back to scout here. So Blue is going to have to, well, look at this, they're all in. Nick has got full Uber, they're playing with confidence, and they got to get someone on that second cap here, but let's see if they try to make a play for Sky. The Uber gets popped off in rollout, and Sky's going to have to get back into spawn. She lost Jarrett the demo. Now, luckily for them, though, this second point was not capped. Froyo just with blood in their eyes here, I think.
Yeah, they ended up getting double back capped. We have Rakuso and Muffins on. if they're really good here, we would get them to jump out. Yeah, there we go. So there's going to be one guy on last versus a scout and a soldier with almost no health who gets instantly killed. And it didn't quite work out. So an almost successful double back cap. This puts a bad look on Froyo here, though, because Nick is dead. He ate a pipe, I believe. So
And Sky got it in the meantime.
now, something here that irritates me is we have most of our red team here with Uber, and they allowed the point to be capped, which puts them in a crappier spawn position than they would have been. And now, however, it doesn't matter because Froyo decided to feed them 3 kills, and now here comes a 3 versus 6 full Uber push.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Can I get another? And they're going to just come right onto this, and running with Scizors, just able to crowd the point, and they take that round. And so I don't know, maybe give a little bit of credit there to what was almost a double back cap, but turned out to be a pretty awesome distraction play. It worked out. We got 2-1. How about that?
Yeah, it turned out.
I like it when a plan comes together, Marxist. Well, hey, tell you what, I'm on the Rakuso cam, and he hit his surf real nice here. Make the tutorial video with a surf like that, and he's down low here now, just putting out damage. Looking at both of these teams, see who wants to act. It looks like froyotech are wanting to take this into half. Very aggressive, but Rakuso comes over the top, and they got a nice little pick there onto Banny, and Patty went down as well. It's both soldiers for Froyo down. They're going to try to fight it out here. Clockwork and Free State trying to do their scout thing and come in, get maybe Sky, maybe Jarrett, someone like that, but it's not working out here. Froyo kind of ramming their heads into the wall, but don't underestimate Muma here, putting out a lot of damage as well. Kind of the silent star. Wow, Ninja Nick popping his Uber right here at mid, and they want to try to get Sky here if they can, Marks.
Yeah, and this is going to be the worst for Froyo because they've popped here. They will not get this mid, and they might be able to try to push it without Clockwork, which I don't know if I'd try to do. So they're going to end up giving that up. And we should see a push come through anyways. Deathy comes through really fast. Soldier in the side here. And Free State's going to end up getting a kill. Jarrett's in a really bad situation. Yeah, he got caught out there. The push sort of just got scattered to the wind, and now Sky is going to die.
My lord. So we got a wipe going down. You know, it's nice to have those really strong mids and get those real nice numbers advantages, but it feels not fun when you can't follow them up. Even though Mr. Muffins is thinking sniper, he's here in forward. Ooh boy, I'm on the Muffins cam. Actually, we have we had a brief spy there, just checking Uber guns, probably. Looking at Muffins here, of course, Ninja Nick has full advantage. Whiffing on the first shot, Mr. Muffins, he saw Ninja Nick, but we're going to look at last here now. Too bad. Rakuso up on heavy. Send sniper.
Yeah, he was already, they had sniper and forward and sniper at last, so.
Yeah, double sniper strats. Staggered double sniper. Well, here's Mooma. He's in real early, Marxist.
Yeah, and we're going to see, well, Patty goes down right away to Muffins, and Clockwork is going to go down to Deathy. So, not good shape here for this last push. Sky is going to die, though, so that is unfortunate, but we should be able to go to second, maybe, hopefully. They're going to try.
Yeah, Momo's going to try to do his little demo ulti-duo thing here with Nick. Pretty strong duo, but the math not seeming to add up, although they really delay long enough that, look at this, here's Froyo again. They're going to try to still be at this push, or at this choke rather, pushing. We got no sniper. Still haven't seen the Clockwork sniper really to any effect at all. Rakuso's just kind of chilling out here in IT a little bit. But how about that for Froy? I mean, they don't have to give up any room at all. They're still here at second.
Yeah, they didn't cap fast enough, Getawhale, and they let the forward spawns come out. So, and we lose Jarrett defending. So this is what I wanted to bring up. So if you're Froyo in that situation, you can either dry push in and hope to have the Uber advantage to push last with, which is what they're going to do right now, or you wait until you get Uber. Not invite teams who are not Froyo would wait. Froyo doesn't wait. They go in, they have 100% Uber on your last.
We got half time. Tell you what, boy, it almost seems like they should have done that last round, doesn't it? Just come right on in and get on the last point.
Yeah, odd.
Well, how about that? Well, we're looking at 3-1 at halftime, and we're going to hopefully bring up these stats here to have a look. I mean, Froyo's certainly in the driver's seat in this one. There's no question of who has the advantage and who's sort of got the leg up on this one. It's definitely froyotech. Free State has 19 frags, leading the server. The highest on Running with Scizors is 10 frags. That's deathy. So certainly froyotech just having one of those kind of matches where almost everything going their way. Although we've seen Running with Scizors win a mid-fight here and there, win an Uber exchange here and there, but just feels like they're not able to, follow up on it. Am I right, Marxist?
Yeah, they've only out and out lost, as far as I can remember. One, maybe two of the mids, I think, have out and out been losses for Scizors. And on the whole, their mids are better. Froyo's soldiers are going in too soon for their team, or something is happening that I'm not catching to the not soldier players that's causing them to stop. So what you end up with is you feed Banny and Patty, and then their damage isn't followed up on. And also, Scizors is pretty good about spreading out away from the bomb. Like, you want to scatter so that they don't hit multiple people as they fly through the air at you. And they're pretty good at dealing with that. And they've had some mistakes and miscues there. They had one where they started sacking for Nick, I don't know why. And then they had the one where they just sort of left because they ceded too much positioning and decided to play it safe. And then, that ended up being one of our longer rounds. So,
yeah. Well,
I mean, I guess that turned out okay.
Well, you win some, you lose some. I agree with what you say about kind of the adaptability here. froyotech, right off the start, I mean, they were bombing Sky and just kind of really pressuring Sky really effectively. I mean, she went down the first couple minutes, but Running with Scizors able to sort of find a way to adapt to that and kind of prepare for it. I mean, they're not a stupid team. They know that, if froyotech are doing this on mid until it doesn't work anymore, well, they're going to find a way to make it not work anymore. Surprisingly, looking at deaths, and a couple people in chat have brought it up as well. Ninja Nick, 3 deaths. Muma, 2 deaths. That helps a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah, so the main problem, the reason that this is a 3-1 and not some other score, is because Scizors is having a really hard time negotiating bad Uber forces. It's not Sky's fault that they're bad. They're just not good, to have in a general sense. So then they have to try to get through a choke and get to Nick. That's your only option in that scenario. And of the times they've had to do that, Nick has been so far away in response. And whatever is going on with Scizors, they just get screwed up. So we had one push in where Deathy tried to jump in really deep and got blasted and couldn't do anything, and so all the attention was still on Choke because they knew he wasn't a threat. There was also the time where Deathy and Rakuso jumped in and one of them got 150 damage body shotted while in the air, and so that pretty much just gooches your push.
Yeah, I mean, give credit to froyotech where credit is due. I mean, they're smart, they're playing this game perfectly in terms of positioning and stuff like that, especially Ninja Nick. He got lucky on that one bomb by Deathy into IT where Deathy kind of got caught behind a guardrail. But anyway, we're into the second half here. It is 3-1, as you can see. I'm on the Jericam, and guess what? It's just bowling over the mid this time. He's coming right out onto the mid, presenting, as they may say. Froyo are finally now here. Rakuso's going to get up top, and Patty here behind Crate. He's going to now jump over to this overhang onto House here. So far, no picks either way. Patty's bombing in and just kind of taking this upper area here and trying to get the height advantage. Deathy up high now. I'm looking at Deathy, who, wow, almost missed there. A little shot onto Banny. Meanwhile, I saw Free State went down in terms of scout. Here's Patty coming over the top. He wanted to... Wow, it's Deathy going down. Banny and Patty. Looks like every soldier went down at the same time here, Marxist. And now we got Muma and Ninja Nick. We're sort of backed up a little bit for safety. Both teams about to get Uber. This blue team getting the cap, but it looks like Muma and Nick ready to get pushed back into here.
Well, Muma and Nick unfortunately got split off from Clockwork, and there was no way for him to be healed. So a blob always beats a guy who's not being healed. So now we just have to not die for a second here and maybe try to Uber exchange. Yeah, Sky unfortunately gets popped up by a sticky, so they have to go. But they are going to manage to get a demo man out of that, so that turned out.
Nick was juking around with no one to heal and was just face to face with the soldier and just still didn't pop. And boy, oh boy, Nick, take a bow. Nick still holding on to that Uber. That was pretty wild. I don't know if we had his POV, but the kid's got balls, Marxist, and now looking real good is Froyo, who get this very easy, very free mid-cap, and they got Rakuso up on Sniper, though. Rakuso's going to want something here on the Crusoe camp.
Yep, I mean, the push started out okay, and then it just wasn't. It wasn't anymore. We have really good pressure here. Yeah, Jarrett gets over-aggressive there. There was a Banny waiting for him to do that, and now in comes the Uber. They don't have to contend with a demo on the point. Rakuso's going to go dead right away. There's an arrow that comes out somewhere. I heard it happen, and they are getting mulched on the point. Now the Uber comes out anyways, mainly for statistical purposes, and Froyo takes the fourth round.
Gotta pad those stats. That must be the word of the season, I think. Mulched. I've heard it just so much, but I think you hit the nail on the head there. Froyo aren't fooling around here. We're going to see no 5 heavy to mid shenanigans here, although Scizors are rolling out. Who do you got this mid?
So we will watch Banny, because I sort of criticized what they were doing at mid, so we'll see what he sees. And right now he's just chilling on the rock. Nobody's punishing him at all for doing this. And Clockwork is going to go down, and so is Patty. So Banny's going to have to bomb in because this mid is over. And yeah, and then he leaves because he didn't land on anybody. And so now we have a situation where we might be able to push in. Free State's going to get Rakuso though, so that's a little unfortunate if you're cheering for Scizors to get a second round here.
Well, here's Muma just laying down damage. He's just trying to carpet bomb the team so they have nowhere to go here and just playing real aggressive, not the passive Muma that people love to talk about. He's just going to stick up sewer here and whatnot. We have no off-classing, nothing crazy like that, but Blue, like you said, I don't know, if you're running with Scizors here, look at this, Clockwork. Clockwork in a lot of danger, gets down real low, was down to under 30 HP, had to retreat through IT. But, yeah, running with Scizors, just kind of planning this push here, both teams holding on to the Ruber.
Yeah, you're gonna run some variation of a suicide here. Yeah, and there it goes. So we are flying towards Nick. He actually gets forced. Rakuso running the shotgun as well, so that does my heart a lot of good.
As opposed to the gunboats, which of course we see almost the majority of all soldiers running these days. It's the way the meta has shifted. Sky's still up, as you said. The force on the Nick was great, and we haven't had... Well, here's Banny. Look at this, just coming way, way up. We might see a ballsy Froyo player try to come in here. Patty was trying to do something in IT. Looks like the push wants to come through sewer, though, and we're going to see probably a real early pop here. Oh, the Snicks really expertly spotted out there by Deathy. He's going to get rid of that mess from Muma. There's still one stick there. But here it comes. This looks like it's the push, Marxist. 60% is Nick.
Yeah, they were really slow to execute this push, but they end up getting Free State and Patty out of it, only losing Rakuso, so pretty happy with that overall. You do have to worry about Nick coming out here with an Uber, so you've got to be careful about your positioning here, because chances are there's going to be some kind of Uber push out here, and you don't want it to kill most of your team. Now, knowing that, Rakuso has gone Spy, and I think he will be going for the spoiler back Caparino, and we also have a sniper in Sen to try to slow them down. So that's good, unless Rakuso gets spotted.
Sen got a nice body shot kill onto Free State, though, before he got taken down by an eagle-eyed
Yeah, the round
Banny.
is over. This is Dunzo. Oh no, he came back! Why? Muma just had Spidey senses there, and he stops the back cam.
That's pretty amazing. I wasn't on his cam. I don't know if he was spotted out or what happened there, but at any rate, boy oh boy, Rakuso almost had the sneaky play, the snake play, but it's not going to work out, and now the second cap is going to go back. Running with Scizors are here on mid. They're about to get their Uber, so we might have an even exchange here, unless we have some big pick come. They've got Sen still up on the sniper, as a matter of fact, and he's going to probably look to get real aggressive here. Deathy's going to crater.
Yeah, he really tried to get, which soldier was this one? Patty, who was a little bit overextended, so they just went in to try to kill him, and they failed, and now they're losing half their team, and their Uber gets forced. So this is like a complete catastrophe, and Rakuso is in the absolute sad zone, trying to do anything. Sen is gonna get blasted back. 4 health, tries to go for the shot of his life, doesn't hit it. And we've got one poor individual in Deathy out here actually defending the point. He's gonna get shattered, and so is Muffins, and that's probably the round.
Look at this. Jared just sticking out of forward, just sitting there. We have the heavy. Finally someone has some logic and some reason here. We have the pyro coming out, and we have Rakuso sniper. Sen giving the people what they want. It's that big pyro. We got the double pyro now. They're just going to look to blast froyotech to the moon here, who have still not capped middle, sorry. They're just capping this middle point. Boy, finally. We have to wait that long for pyros? Come on.
And unfortunately, they lose some of their pyros. They're in a sticky trap on the door.
Well, at any rate, Sen is still on sniper. He's trying to make a difference here. God love him. Here's Banny right up into the door, and 2 players left. It's the scout duo of running with Scizors, who do find themselves at the losing end here. Was not a 5-0, 5-1 the final score. But, no huge surprise here in this match. I don't think we saw too much that shocked us. Marxist, we all felt this might have gone this way.
Yeah, to the credit of Scizors, their mids were pretty good overall, a lot better than I expected, and their last defenses turned out a lot of the time, mainly because Froyo made a few mistakes throughout the game. But unfortunately, every time that the ball was in the court of Scizors, well, almost, except for the round that they won, Froyo did something to them that just ruined it. They ruined Christmas on more than one occasion.
Even one occasion is terrible, but no, I certainly hear what you're saying. I'm looking at the stats right now. Sorry, it's a good thing I was sitting down. Banny had a 407 DPM. We'll call it 408. We'll round it up. 407.9. Just all around, really great performance here by Froyo. Yeah, I mean, you said it too. They kind of let running with Scizors have a couple fights and a couple moments here and there. I don't know why they let them come out of spawn that one time, but it worked out in the end. The thing about Froyo is, even if they give something to a team, they can come out and give 125% and really just eat you up right after that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's what we saw. Apparently, we're being informed that EVL Gaming is forfeiting this game. The information that we have is, and I'm telling this to you guys, these are not my words. These are the words that we are being told. Well, tell you what, I'll be real democratic here, but apparently AIM hasn't been on. AIM, for some reason, not able to make the game this evening. So it appears that EVL Gaming are forfeiting, which is kind of unfortunate, as a matter of fact. That was our marquee matchup for this evening. They were to face off against Ronin. And so, by all appearances, unfortunately, that one's not going down. I'm not saying to blame anyone, but apparently, yeah, and Botmode has posted on the forums as well. It'll be a forfeit or a reschedule. So, that's the bad news. Unfortunately, it's going to not be a doubleheader this evening. It's just going to be that one that we just watched, which went to Froyo 5-1. What do you think of that? Too bad, Marxist.
Yeah, well, it got my feet wet again, so I was all right with that.
Yeah, I mean, we are at the end of the season, and, the only thing that's, being questioned now is seeding for playoffs. I mean, both of these teams were guaranteed playoffs. There was not a whole lot at stake. Yeah, I mean, EVL was just kind of looking to put a dent into Ronin, as the write-up said, who were the first seed. So unfortunately, that'll have to come another day. So tell you what, anything we can wrap up this match. Anything you wanted to talk about or mention about this one, or have we?
I feel
beat
happy
the horse
overall.
Yeah. Well, guys, let's give some love to Marxist, by the way, too, who haven't seen here for a while. Life's been taken over, but it's nice having you here, buddy. And hopefully, maybe in playoffs or something like that, we can have you back, or maybe even sooner. I didn't mention right off the top our production person. His name is Mathsad, aka Dash Sniper. He's saying right now he's working around the clock to give you guys TF2 VODs. Apparently, the VOD will be up right after this. Right after we shut up, Marxist. So why don't we shut up? Check us out on YouTube, guys. Team Fortress TV. Of course, go to teamfortress.tv for all of the latest news and streams and coverage of ESEA Season 21. My name is Getawhale. He is Marxist. We have been pleased to bring this to you tonight. Congrats to froyotech, and we will see you guys next time. Good night.